I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it.
Nah.
You know, if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody gonna clean it up.
There's no way you can offend Anya like that. She's not pathetic or trash.
I'm not offending Anya. I'm offending that little punk Damien and the brother Yuri. They're the trash cans.
Yeah. But with him, it's funny because, damn, bro. Watch when the next episode tomorrow it comes out. Watch when you see the next episode, bro. Because yeah, he does have like an infatuation. Like this dude was like, oh, he should have put. He should have wiretapped his sister, but then he's like, oh no, he shouldn't do that because his heart wouldn't be able to take it if he heard her making sounds with Lloyd. Meaning that he was gonna wiretap her so that he can hear and listen in on her and shit. But like to wiretap the house, but then he was like, nah, he shouldn't do that because then he won't be able to take it. Like if he hears her making those sort of sounds with him.
I mean, it's so. And it's a shame, too, because, like, if you take away that aspect of his character, that nasty, obsession or sentiments he feels towards Yor, like, he's actually pretty solid. Like, I like what he does. But that motivation of just,
he wanted to marry her. He wanted to have her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nasty.
Like, he literally, if you read the chapters, he literally admitted that he wants to marry her.
I mean, I'm not bothering reading the manga because, like, the anime is actually expanding and, like, fleshing things out. So I feel like there's no point.
No, there is. You can still. There's enough chapters to go through and really understand certain things. Like it's really good, and they're showing just like both sides. But I still feel like some people are stuck in comprehending Lloyd because they think that Lloyd is doing good, but he might be actually doing evil because he talks about a world, saving the world. Which world are you talking about? Because there's numerous worlds. The planet is the planet. And then you have individual worlds, which is what each person lives in individually. They have their own world or their own perception of the world. So when he talks about world and what he's been, given and ingrained within him, which world is he talking about? Because to the perspective of the other side, he seems like the villain that they have to catch. Because if they don't catch him, he's going to end up finding information, doing something that he's not supposed to, that's going to put them in danger. So, this is what I'm looking at, though. Like, it's nice that the writer is showing this. I'm just curious about what approaches he's going to take and what really is it with Lloyd, because a lot of people will think Lloyd is intelligent, but you forget, and this is why I say time and time again, intelligence is not forever. Intelligence is just why you have this brief body. It's like what you're using that intelligence for is what matters. Okay, because too many people have had supposed intelligence and they have not become higher life forms. They become worse. They become energetic parasites. They become corrupted souls. They become underdeveloped souls. You have to get into the specifics of what an entity really is. And it all goes into how is someone using that intelligence while they briefly have it, which is crucial. Okay, so looking at Lloyd is like, I see him using intelligence, cool, but what world are you talking about? And what are you going to do when that big choice comes in on what you want to prioritize and save? Like, that's what I'm looking at. It's really interesting. Like, people really have to look at that because, for example, I've seen, what's the girl's name? Yor, she's been catching bodies. But to me, while I was watching her catching all those bodies, I was like, damn, each of those people had different motivations towards why they was doing what they was doing. So some of them wasn't even to blame, and she really murdered them. You get what I mean? I'm sitting back because I know this because I've grown enough to where I know this. Meanwhile, you got a lot of these underdeveloped entities watching this show, and then they're just like, oh, that animation was hard. Oh shit, you saw how she just caught that body? Like, damn, like she really did that. Like, yo, and then I'm thinking to myself, damn, they don't know any better. That could have been them under certain circumstances, and then you wouldn't be too happy with if it was you going up against her. So,
I mean, it's not.
Spike's family.
I'm not sure how serious the series wants its readers to take it.
Well, you have to, because the elements, even if you do it as a comedy, It's all serious. Like at any moment right now, a politician could crack a joke, grab him in the pussy. Meanwhile, there's actual events happening outside of that. You could have Trump saying grab him in the pussy. Okay, that's some people think that's a
Right.
joke. You can be in the moment of the joke, but at the end of the day, you have to have a level of seriousness where you know when to step into joke and when to step into seriousness. So when it comes to the series, I see that he's playing with both. He can throw the jokes, but I see the background. I see how serious it is. And I'm curious because I've been seeing certain things he's been doing in the background that it seems some people's not peeping that. And I've seen it and I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Um, I'm gonna give you a moment before I continue to get your thoughts into that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like he might have those elements in the background, but I mean that's the thing. I feel like it's more like a so I can't tell. Like just because he throws it in the background, it doesn't mean he's gonna be bringing it to the forefront anytime soon. Like we're gonna turn all political like Attack on Titan.
No, it's not about being political. But at the end of the day, you're playing with something. Eventually, you have to reach that. You get what I mean? You got to reach it, and then we got to see your message. And this is the issue.
I mean,
I always look at you can have your fun at the beginning, but I'm always looking at the message. You get what I mean? When you grow up enough, you become well developed enough, you can enjoy, you can laugh and really appreciate a series, but it's always about the message. And for souls that don't know any better, this is my concern because a lot of kids that were like us may encounter this series, and you get what I mean. This is the difference between them becoming healthier life forms or them becoming worse. So I just have a certain level of concern in regards to what he may be doing. That's sort of what I'm talking about. Because you say it's fun right now, sure, but do was it looking towards the conclusion? Because I see all the elements he's been placing in. It's pretty concerning. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, because where we're at right now with the show, with all these, I mean, it just gets more and more away from the serious stuff.
Nah, bro. I'm showing you. I'm telling
is.
you right now. I've been reading the manga, bro. Nah, bro, it's not.
Okay,
It's not going. It's not going away. They're sticking to. They're sticking to the main goal. Okay, so you're just talking about the anime, but I'm just letting you know right now. You gotta see, even right now within the anime, but with what they've shown up to episode 8, they're on that path to that trajectory towards that big moment. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about the big moment right now, and I'm just concerned. Cause I can laugh, I can enjoy it, but.
In the climax, there might be a conflict between Yor and Lloyd and all that stuff, but I feel like at the end of the day, with this massive theme of family, all these people getting together, they're not, they weren't meant to be together. They're not related.
The thing about family
is an adopted child. Yor just came in out of nowhere. They're all just different people from different circumstances meshing together, and they seem to be on this path,
bro.
proper and happy little family or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know if the show is gonna take that wholesome route and just this
is the thing, man. The theme is not a fucking fairy tale type shit. Excuse my language. It's not fairy tale family and power of friendship. Look, the thing is, the theme is they're showing the dynamics of families. How in a family you can be in your house, you don't know what these people is doing when they leave the house. For example, no offense, you can have a relative that you know, and I'm not gonna say any names. You can have a relative when they step out, you don't know what they're doing. But they're showing you one thing, but there's so much more to it. And this is the whole thing with the concept of the world and the perception. Okay? Because Yor's world, it may not be the same thing that Lloyd is thinking about in terms of world, and you don't know the bigger power. You don't know what is. Wait, look. You don't know what is in his memories that they have not shown. You get what I mean? Because I'm looking at the character and I'm looking at the indications of what other memories does he have that can play a part into what it is. Because, for example, we saw him in a fire. We saw him when he was a little boy. He was in a fire. It seems that some form of terrorism probably took place, and he lost his loved ones or something. This is why then he went about doing the spy stuff. He's trying to prevent that within his location. But then he goes to this location. He realizes, damn, like they're living the same, just like me. So damn, this is a tough situation because look at this. So what world are you talking about? But let's go right back to this particular theme of you have 3 people, and he doesn't even know his own daughter. Her background, he doesn't really know that. Okay, you can see personality, but bro, you don't know what experiences someone else already went through that makes them hostile. I'm gonna give an example, and I'm not gonna put someone's business out there, but I'm just gonna say there's someone that I've known or that I have, that has been in my space at a couple points that loves to take long showers. Like 2 hours in a shower is abnormal. And I've looked this shit up and I've asked numerous people. It's concerning. Now the thing is, I have to understand what experiences cause the person to potentially spend like long hours showering. You know what I mean? So this is where I have compassion, consideration, because honestly, I don't know the person's experience or the person's situation like that, so I can't judge. I have to be patient because I don't, like someone else could have went through something and may have not wanted to share it with someone else. I can't really say anything. I just have to be considerate. You get what I mean? So when I think of, and then this all comes from the theme of you think you have family, but family is consistency. Family is being truthful. You get what I mean? And Lloyd, you can see his motivations. At the end of the day, they're just there with the agreement, but you see it. So for example, right now, like you can be in your house. Again, you don't know these people like you claim to know because the body is gonna cease. What matters is the soul and what the soul does while it's experiencing with you. So if it's just experiencing hell, it's making hell for you every fucking day. That's not family. That's not family. If it's not even recognizing it's making hell for you itself, and that's not family. You have to see where that soul is in its development. If it's just causing hell for you every fucking day, you got me. You can have patience. You can hope the soul develops, but at the end of the day, you have to consider them. Do I really want this entity in my space like that? If it's not gonna start improving, like, do I want that? No. So when it comes to this with Lloyd, like right, they had their agreements briefly, but you get what I mean. It's like I see the trajectory. I see the theme is not some fairy tale lovey-dovey family shit. Like I see, it's not really some family shit. It's just addressing the concept of it. And they reiterate it numerous times too, where they point out that there's something that he wants out of this, there's something she wants, and then there's something that Anya wants. And it's heartbreaking because Anya represents a lot of the children that are thrown in orphanages. It's really, really sad. And it shows that she does not want to go back to that orphanage. They play it off as jokes, but she knows the experiences that she had to go through. Like it's honestly heartbreaking because a lot of children are going through it just because of the irresponsibility of parasites that mismanage money and then causes souls to be underdeveloped. And those souls, imagine the body becomes an adult, but the soul is so underdeveloped, it can't even look after itself or someone else. Like, this is the issue. This is the severe issue, the grave problem we are facing. Like this is just like fucking insane. That the instability right now, everything that's happening right now is because of a lot of corrupted souls mismanaging money, a lot of energetic parasites scheming to underdevelop souls arriving on this planet. So you can be in an adult body, but if you got underdeveloped, you got traumatized, you got sabotaged from your development, guess what? You're going to be a problem to yourself, others in the atmosphere, and you see it happening. So imagine if, for example, Anya had parents that could have been there for her and were well developed, she wouldn't be stagnated on that. It's cool though. She was lucky enough to meet Lloyd, and now she's with Yor. That's nice. But a lot of children, realistically, they don't have that. They don't have their parents around, and when their parents are enslaved and they're in an office and they can't really be there for their kid, guess what? They're enslaved. Their time has been taken from them. The information that they was given was limited on purpose, and they're not doing anything for themselves. They're not cleaning the atmosphere. They're just slaving away and then coming home, and then there's so many problems. And you have to look at the scheme. I mean, we already talked about this outdated system and how it's to get legally eradicated. We talked about this already. But my thing is, a lot of these kids that are in these foster homes, and it was all because some soul was underdeveloped by some stinky parasite, mismanaging money, having puppets manipulate their soul into going to a bar, going to these different locations, just absorbing all sorts of limited, corrupt, tampered information that causes the soul to then be a pawn to itself. It becomes, its body continues to shape into an adult, but the soul is so stagnated that it can't do anything for itself. It can't do anything for these children, and the children ends up in a foster home. And then you have souls that don't even manage to get a body because their body gets destroyed because the underdeveloped soul just did not develop enough, ends up pregnant, and then has to abort the soul that could have had a body, all because of the irresponsibility of an underdeveloped soul. So you got to see who's been doing the underdeveloping. You got to see who's been doing the damaging, who's been harming these communities. You have to see that who's been mismanaging money, because if they've been mismanaging money for the last 50 years, 6,000 years, you got to put a stop to that. All that corrupt garbage is getting legally eradicated, and too many people are seeing it. We got to talk about this because people got to see it. Every day people's waking up and they're suffering. Too many children out here in these foster homes suffering, and they wouldn't even be that. They wouldn't even be like that. Bro, think about it. Those children would not be in that situation if it were not for the mismanagement of the money and how these energetic pairs have been just draining and taking the money away from the collective. And the collective has to put a stop to that, man. It's an honestly a very serious issue. And they're throwing away these children because from the foster homes, you get what I mean? The soul is being underdeveloped. It's being preyed on. That soul, that child that you find in the foster home could could have lived a whole other life if the collective was empowered. Collective, for the most part, was an empowered collective with a lot of constructive co-creators, well-developed souls, well-developed higher life forms. Guess what? All incoming souls will be nourished and will also be empowered, will be able to naturally prosper and constructively evolve how they're supposed to on this planet. Because I already said this before, bro. I mean, we already talked about it. Naturally, when you develop enough, you don't prey on others. When you become constructively superior, you become a constructively superior co-creator. You're well developed. You do not prey on others. You have your own energy. You have your own strength. You give energy. And in your circle of life, guess what? You pull in entities that also share and reciprocate your energy. That means they empower you, you empower them. The only ones that rely on an outdated system of preying on others are energetic parasites. I mean, we already talked about how, that outdated system's getting legally eradicated. We already talked about all that. If people want more information on that, they can go to the Spirit Sheet official page, because I'm not going to go into that right now. But it all plays a part into this. Like, looking at Anya, she had to suffer through it. She went through what, 3, 4, I think they mentioned 2 to 3, no, not 2, 3 foster homes that she went through or something, right?
I don't remember.
Well, they mentioned it was around 3. But she is a representation of those children sadly going through that when they don't have to. You gotta think about it. Compare a country, like imagine a advanced civilization with a country where all souls in that country are well developed. And again, you have to comprehend, in that country, you would not have a prison. Why? Because the vast majority would be literally well developed and would be helping to nourish incoming souls that are here not to be stagnated. They're not here to have their time wasted, to have the development sabotaged. They're not here to absorb limited, outdated information that causes them to be pawns to themselves, others, or the atmosphere. They're not there for that. They're not there to repeat outdated mistakes. No. In an advanced civilization, you're there literally to fulfill your purpose of evolving, constructively evolving as a life form. At a molecular level, at a cosmic level, the point of your existence is to literally evolve. That is the point of your existence, okay? And there's key areas that, for example, there's not going to be energetic pairs to prey on collectives there. The only places energetic pairs that can prey on collectives and souls is in an underdeveloped civilization. And so this is why they have to desperately continue to try to poison minds and do all this unnatural guard, but dumping all sorts of pollution. They have to continue desperately doing it, because if they don't do it, guess what? They can't prey on the collectives. But and this is something I already said, and me and the brother already spoke about last time. When the collective becomes an empowered collective, just like at a molecular level to a cosmic level, a virus cannot exist. And this is why I have to continue reminding souls, a virus cannot exist in your body if your body becomes too strong. The virus has to flee. Okay, respect the laws of this realm, respect the laws of the universe. At the end of the day, energetic parasites, you can see their planetary history, you see their outdated navigational patterns, you see their rinse and repeat limited psychology that they reintroduce to any planet they go to. That's the only thing they can throw. Well, they're not going to give you anything else other than where they are. They're stuck in limited, outdated psychology. So the thing is, when a collective becomes too empowered, energetic parasites have no choice but to flee a planet that has an empowered collective. They have to flee. And when they flee, they don't go to a planet with an empowered collective. No, they go to a weak planet where the souls pouring into that planet are underdeveloped, are in the early stages of civilizations. So what do? They go to those sort of planets with civilizations that are underdeveloped. What you claim is modern, what some claim is modern, is actually outdated, completely outdated. Right now, you're in an outdated civilization. But the cool thing is, you arrived here to develop and constructively evolve. So you have to play a part in being a solution to yourself and joining those that are looking to genuinely clean this planet. You want to be part of the problem or you want to be part of the genuine solution is a question you have to ask yourself, because when you become well developed, you're going to have loved ones you care for. You're going to care for yourself. You're going to have compassion, consideration. You're going to want to clean this planet. Locally, globally, you're going to want to do that. So comprehend what's being said here and recognize that. Recognize who answers to what. Recognize who the majority of corrupted souls answer to. Corrupt energetic pairs has limited outdated psychology that is to now get legally eradicated. And then when you consider that, then you look into, for example, now we're going to bring it right back full circle to Spy X Family. Lloyd is only thinking about a world, his perception. We think it's goo gaga right now, but this is the fun part about looking at his character, because now we get to see what world is he looking to make. Is he thinking about the planet, the bigger picture, or what is he thinking about? Because if he's enclosed and he's done all these missions, he's done all this stuff, he stopped a missile by 1 second. They said in one episode, it's like, okay, cool, he stopped the missile by 1 second. Okay, what are you actually doing for the entire collective, not just in one country? So that's what we have to look at. Is his mind just in one country, or is it just in all countries? What is he looking at? It seems like he only is interested in the country he's from, right?
Yeah, that is what's going on, because they built up. It's only just two main sides. I think they said Eastern something or Western, whatever the case might have been. But the whole thing is that there's a politician from the other side who's starting to, cause, or who's trying to start some sort of issue between the sides again. And what his side is trying to do is stop that individual so that these issues don't arise. So I don't know if the author's going to, take it a step further and show, that there's corruption on both sides or whatever, or if he's going to keep it, just as, Lloyd has to stop this other side, and then these people can continue enjoying their peace or whatever.
Their false peace. The false peace.
Yeah.
Because it's not genuine peace. Because the thing is, until you don't have genuine harmony, you will not have anything. You'll just have pointless, ceaseless conflict that eventually you have to put a stop to it. So you're going to keep politicking on nonsense? Nah, bro. This is why that garbage can exist. Like, you eventually have to hit that breaking point that where that's it. Something has to happen so that you can attain harmony. And it is dangerous, you get what I mean? Because during that risky moment, and this is what you see right now with these stage events, they're trying to put the world under one rule. There's numerous sides right now trying to put the world, the quote unquote world, their perception of the world, in one rule. They're not thinking about the planet. They're in their world, their perception. So the person with the most money, whether it's $1 trillion, is trying to put the rest of everyone else in a genjutsu under their world, their perception of how they think things should go. But if you see they're following outdated scripts, would you trust that? You can't trust someone that is following outdated scripts and has been trying to do that for the last 6,000 years and has been failing. And this is the thing. It has $1 trillion, right? And as it tries to do the scheme to get everyone else under its perception of one world, it loses that money. And this is why it needs to make more money. This is why they continue these stage events, to make more money. This is why they stole so much money from the Pentagon. And then they also had fabricated so many events that continue extracting money, because they've been trying to use the money, mismanaging money for their scheme to get everyone else under their perception of the world. And it's been failing. Time and time again. This is why this is the tug of war that has been waged over the last 6,000 years. And it's not just one person. You got numerous entities doing that. You have numerous entities. Is that visible?
Yeah.
Before you can go.
No, you can say what you can.
No, you can go. I'll go after.
No, because I was just gonna say, and this is why this is part of the reason why I still see by the end that these three characters, Yor, Lloyd, and Anya, are going to stay together. Because I feel like what's going to happen later on is that eventually, the truth about one of them or both of them is going to come out somehow. But I think they're going to end up having to sit down and look at it and recognize that they have Anya there. And they've been through all this stuff. I mean, we've seen both characters literally getting softer over time as well. So they're not just going to forget about that. And then if anything, I feel like they're going to each somehow come to some sort of agreement to investigate or, take out each side that they're on. And then both sides are gone. Like the whole assassin group, whoever's, leading Yor to do what she does, and whoever's leading Lloyd to do what he does. So I feel like they're both going to go against their own groups or send one or the other.
Even if they do, there's too many groups outside of that. There's too many countries, but you got to see, again, who answers to what.
The series isn't going to go there.
It's not going to go there. But my point is, stepping away from the series for a moment, do you comprehend how there have been those with a false perception of the world that they've been trying to throw on everyone else, and they've been trying to spend trillions of dollars trying to do that, and every time that their money gets like, if you use 1 trillion, the moment you get to 1 billion, the person starts scheming again to make more money. They're going to mismanage again in an attempt to do that, to get everyone else in their false perception of the world.
Yeah, I mean that is how it is. I mean that's why I highly doubt a single billionaire that exists got that money through natural or positive means.
But this is exactly.
So
exactly.
One way or another, they must have been cheating, finessing, whatever the case may be, their way to that billion.
Well, yeah. Well, this is what it's called, criminal families. You know what I mean? Criminal families. You know what I mean? This whole operation in regards to Google, you get what I mean? Like, this is not any secret. They knew what they was investing into. They know what they've been doing with this technology, this limited slave technology. Like, it's not a secret. And I personally don't care because I'm not from this planet. At the end of the day, people can think that's crazy, but with the information I've attained, I have recognition. I'm not from this fucking planet. I'm just here to complete my responsibility of cleaning this planet as much as possible for those to arrive. Because I know what it is. You get what I mean? And now I'm not no Okutsuki from Naruto, though. I'm not here to drain this fucking planet. You get what I mean? I'm here to genuinely help souls constructively evolve and to ensure that the collective becomes an empire collective, because that's just naturally what's supposed to happen, constructive evolution. So, people have to realize, though, the tug of war that's been waged in numerous countries. But again, it's too easy to see. Like if people want more information, they can go to the Spirit Siege official page or get the Problems to Be Resolved now book. I'm not going to say anything else in regards to that. Brother was trying to keep it strictly to Spy X Family, so that's what we'll do. Lloyd, hopefully he can grow. There's the opportunity for growth. That's what I'll say, because Lloyd isn't a character that's too far gone. Lloyd is a character that I see that, throughout the story, he has the potential to grow. Likewise, Anya is the one I'm a little more concerned because, again, she's just... I haven't seen Lloyd catching bodies like the way Anya has. Not Anya. Yor. I'm like, Anya. Now, Anya's been catching some bodies, but she hasn't been killing, though. She's been, punching these kids here and there. She's over here just knocking them out. Like, watch bro, the incoming episodes are going to be hilarious of Anya. The way she punches the different kids.
She punches more kids.
You'll see. But Yor is a big concern because she has been catching bodies. You get what I mean? So I don't know. She can seem like she likes Lloyd, but I don't know, man. Like Yor, I'm a little concerned in regards to her because she's caught bodies.
I mean, that's intentional. That's intentional on the author's part. He wants to keep readers, having that concern. Because, it would be boring if, everybody was easily able to tell, oh, nah, they're all going to get together. But, me personally, I'm still going to ride that train that they're all going to get together. Because that's just... Because Lloyd, I see Lloyd, over time, he is probably going to become disillusioned with his group that's been using him, for all these missions all this time. He's probably going to find something out about them. And then, recognize that, all right, that's it. I'm done with these people or
I
whatever.
mean, he's been working with them for like 10 years. So if you don't find something for 10 years, man, I don't know. Shouldn't take that long.
I mean, I don't know, because now the thing is, he's been working for them for 10 years, but he's never, ever, been feeling the things that he's been feeling throughout this current mission, getting a whole daughter, it reminded himself of, why he chose this job in the first place, make a better place for kids or whatever. And that's really, Anya's going to be the driving force for both of them, because obviously,
you can go. I'll go after.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of your concern, because she catches bodies, she hasn't displayed the highest level of intelligence, but I feel like when the time comes, she's also going to realize.
Well, this is the thing. We talked about Lloyd and Yor, but Anya, there was a flashback with her when she was not experimenting on, but there was someone telling her something about saving the world, some shit. So I feel like there's something to her backstory that's going to be expanded on and relates to both sides, which is pretty crazy. But because the rule is, hey, we want both sides to understand each other. So it's obvious there has been a third party trying to find a solution to where they can read each other's mind. Where the incoming generations of the souls, like the bodies, the incoming generations of the bodies are going to be able to like communicate with each other and see what's on their mind, so you can see people for who they are, honestly. So this is what they've been experimenting, the third side. Because we just mentioned the two sides. Well, here's the third side. The third side is those in the background working on this project to get the ability for the humanoid bodies to be able to communicate telepathically, and you can see what's on someone's mind so that you will not have problems or complications, because at that point, again, you're reattaining a capability that the human body has had. And by the way, I want to say this real quick. The very fact that the human body has the perception of, you can read minds, telepathy, and we can all think in our own minds, it should tell people that yes, human bodies have been underdeveloped before, but the human bodies do have the potential to evolve and attain that power, because that power doesn't come out of nowhere. People don't just random think. The perception that you have, all the experiences you have, is because it exists, and it's just waiting for you to attain it. And people that, this is not just entertainment. This is not someone entertaining something that, no. You have to realize that everything that you have, all experiences that someone has ever written about, comes from first person experience and second person experience. So this is the thing. When it comes to that telepathic stuff, they've been doing it for years, mentioning stuff for years, playing around with it for years. We know this stuff. We know there's been all sorts of humanoid bodies. We know it. We know it's not a secret. It's not a secret. We know there's been too many civilizations out there. We know that. You enter a brief body and you are bound to the capabilities your brief body can do in that civilization. So if you lived in a civilization that's underdeveloped and you've been fed poison your whole entire life, you obviously can't believe those have been poisoning you and playing with you, showing you the truth, but then having you think that that's not reality. How sick is that? Meanwhile, there's advanced civilization with humanoids that they had the bodies that could have communication, telepathic communication. So right now we see in the series this third option, these scientists, supposed quote-unquote scientists, are seemingly using genetic science for good, and they're looking to find a solution where, hey, if these two people have telepathic abilities and they can't hide their thoughts from each other, you can see someone for who they are, and that can move towards a solution of genuinely finding unity and harmony on the planet. So that's their third. That's what the person, that group that is behind Anya's creation, have been doing. That's the third side. So what you think about that, brother?
I mean, it's they didn't even show that at all in the anime.
No, they did.
I get that the third group wanted her to save the world.
No. The third, it was subtle. It was a guy with a beard, a white beard. He told Anya she has to save the world. Blah blah blah. Something about her powers. That was what the old guy within that laboratory told Anya, and that was something that she thought of in episode 1.
In terms of, I mean, if they have to experiment on everybody,
not experiment. They could end up throwing it within what people consume, and then the incoming bodies will just have that. You know what I mean? That's just what happens. And people don't realize that's just what happens. Just like they misuse genetic science to cause problems inside your body and then make money, they make dirty money off of your problems, off of creating bodily problems inside your body. If you use genetic science for good, they can easily feed people things that will actually cause their bodies to evolve how they're supposed to at a molecular level, and for income generation to
So,
evolve.
mhm. So the thing is, if they go about if they go about doing this, putting these things within what people consume to, eventually awaken that ability within them, are they gonna do it transparently, or are they gonna, do it within the shadows? Just, throw it secretly within, you know,
Well,
what
that's
people
not that.
consume.
Well, my thing is this. I'm just giving you what I can see. I'm not gonna say what the author is gonna do or what the author can't do. I'm not even gonna expand any further than that. I'm just letting you know the third party gave her those abilities, and it seems that her abilities literally allow her to read people's minds. But if both sides have that ability to read each other's minds and see themselves for who they are. And the theme has been for the families that they're all hiding stuff from each other. Guess what?
Mhm.
What happens when both sides can't hide anything? You have to move towards harmony or something, right? And not even something like literally harmony, but there's gonna be obviously through those conflicts you have to find that resolution, that genuine resolution. But yeah, you can't hide anything when you literally your thoughts can be perceived by the other entity, and then both everything is known, everything's on the table. So
Right.
that just means that people literally have to go about harmony ultimately. Not even
Yeah.
people, but souls. When the human body can't, you know, and it's crazy because when you think about it, in certain civilizations underdeveloped, were human bodies on purposely like made like that, where it was underdeveloped so that people could not communicate with each other so that they could be preyed on? Is that what happened? Because then when you think about the people that are looking to create that ability once more and refine that ability and give it once more to the human bodies in order to attain harmony, they get killed. Anytime that they try to do research into that or refine that information, they end up getting killed. So you have to see the why. And I mean, we already talked about it. We're gonna put that within here. We already said it a while back that anyone that tries to find a genuine solution to clean the planet has gotten killed, and you have to see who's been doing that. The discussing energetic parasites are to now get legally eradicated. So we see it, and bro, you can laugh a little bit, but I am serious about that. Like that is what people have to look at. And so when someone is called an energetic parasite, once more, you have to eh, live a certain outdated lifestyle, a certain harmful lifestyle. You have to be too far gone. If you are too far gone and it shows in your lifestyle, then you are called an energetic parasite. Okay? And this is why energetic parasites are to get legally eradicated because of the damages that evidently is thrown. It's like enough is enough. That's not being allowed anymore for the sake of incoming souls. So Anya, definitely, there's something going on with her backstory. And we're gonna end up having to see that eventually. But it seems like the scientists, whoever's working behind Anya, may potentially be using genetic science for good, and they might actually want to give that to the populace. Both sides. Because if they get both sides that's going to be really interesting to see both sides then gain the ability to have communication where you can't hide your thoughts. That'll be crazy. And I mean, it also plays
Well,
into, for example, the Japanese society and where the author comes from. Maybe he's thinking about, damn, like what if in this civilization, entities can't hide their thoughts, and you see entities for what they are, and then that just forces entities to have to either become higher life forms or pay the consequences. Because if you show you're a parasite, entities are not going to want to associate with you, and you will pay the consequences. You can't hide the crimes you did or something that you did because you can't even hide your thoughts. That means that those that are higher life forms are going to know who to deal with. For example, if you did something horrible, guess what? You can't hide your thoughts. So others are going to right away catch on to your thoughts and deal with you. And it'll cause life forms to have to become constructive, healthy life forms. You were going to say.
I mean that's the thing though. That's why I asked, whether that third group would go about doing that transparently or not, because I feel like if they were to come out with it and announce, oh, we have a plan to do this or whatever, and everybody's gonna be more open and honest to each other, there's definitely gonna be pushback. So there's definitely gonna be a bunch of people who's like, nah, we don't want that, blah blah, and then.
Well, it doesn't matter what they want, because at the end of the day, it's for the sake of incoming souls. If you don't know any better and you're foolish, you're not going to understand. But if someone can sit down and explain the why, you'll comprehend why it's important for the greater good. Like there's been brothers that have kamikazed, taking themselves out for the sake of their nations. Yes, if you explain it correctly to a soul that is developing and becomes well developed will comprehend why it is important to have that ability.
And then even if they do have that ability, some are going to be undoubtedly more adept at controlling it than others. So
not necessarily. You'll still be able to, regardless, pick up on any thought someone may emit. Like, you're not just gonna magically not think. Like, the moment you think about any crime you fucking just committed or anything, or any thought that, damn, I want to fucking go hit a lick. I want to go and motherfucking hit that bank. like niggas is going to know right away, because you can't. Bro, thought, literally, you think out. Like, it doesn't matter how much you think. There's not a single person out there that does not think. You have to, no matter what. That's part of you as a soul. Destroying that wall and then being able to hear someone else's thought, no matter what it is, you can't be blank and go do something. You can't do that. That's impossible.
Right. I mean, it's impossible, but I mean, what I'm saying is some people are better at suppressing it than others, and even if somebody sees that, oh, this person is planning to do this, how are they gonna go about stopping that person?
For example, it doesn't matter, because that person's gonna be around all sorts of people that had the ability. So, nigga, if you think that you're about to go murder someone, like, they're gonna know, huh?
If they're walking around, because I mean, here's the thing:
so let's say, for example, you're a killer, right? And you're walking down the street. It's like fucking 10 p.m. and you see someone that you want to kill. The moment you start thinking about, oh, that person looks like I can fucking kill, like, and niggas go pick up on your shit, because everybody around can already pick up on your fucking.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's a basic low level type of killing. Some of these crazy ones, on a whole new level, they'll be walking.
They're not gonna be on a whole new level, bro, because the moment that you identify someone you want to kill, you're gonna think about that in your head the moment you see them. Like, oh, this person seems like someone I can blah blah blah.
Okay, but then if the person isn't directly looking at you, they can't necessarily see what you're thinking, right?
But someone else can. I mean, this is why. But this is the thing. Overall, it's gonna be a solution. Is what I'm saying. I'm not really laughing at this, because this is not funny. You're placing one little situation, but I'm talking about overall in general. It's gonna be a very powerful, useful implementation that can be placed onto the human bodies if they were to go about that. Because, ideally, for example, yes, because what you just said, for a serial killer, if one person is walking down the streets and you're saying that you're gonna just walk there discreetly when there's only one person, and just to kill that one person, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who might tap into your thoughts. You don't know. You don't know who can be from a window watching you as you're walking to go try to commit that murder.
And that's another issue. That's a privacy concern. You could be just chilling.
But that's the thing. There's no need for privacy. What is privacy? Because if you're using privacy to do wrong things that stagnate you, you shouldn't have privacy at all. So if all and by the way, privacy, when everyone is on equal footing and no one has that supposed privacy, guess what? That makes you a better life form, because you can't hide nastiness. The only time that you want to hide things or keep things private is when you're doing something dirty or nasty, something you don't want others to know about. I can't think about one single thing. You get what I mean? Like, for example, if you want to go to a location, cool. That's going to force you to not be in a toxic relationship. For example, if you want to go to a fucking location you don't want anyone else to know about, that's going to force you to not put people in your space that you're not going to want them to know where you're going if you're going to a certain location. So again, that causes people that have to grow into higher life forms.
But I mean, you mentioned like someone sneaking by your window.
Not sneaking by your window. What are you talking about? I said if you are sitting by a window and you look down and you see someone sneaking around, you can zero in on their thought. So whether at the big level, at the small level, there's too much that is a pro versus a con. So I would need an example from you because I gave you various examples.
But yeah,
Why it's a pro?
What I was gonna say is because it doesn't matter. Like you don't need privacy just for to hide negative shit. Like for example, if Lloyd was trying to do something with and you know what I mean by something, and he's thinking about it. You want somebody to know that you're thinking about it.
Let me say this. Anya has already tapped into moments where they're flirting, and then she says, "Oh, they're flirting," and they say, "Oh, they're not flirting." Blah blah. Like regardless, it is what it is.
That's the thing.
You don't be if you are well developed. By the way, if you are well developed, you're not going to be immature about you wanting to do something with someone that you are with as a partner. And a child is gonna mind his business. A young soul is a young soul. You explain this and that. All right, whatever. The young soul is not gonna pay mind to where you let them know this is our business. You can go do your thing. It's cool. Even if she can zero in on your thoughts, you get what I mean. You control the thoughts, and it's not something that is private or secret or negative in a negative way. So I'm very confused about what you're talking about.
Well, I'm sure other people will be able to understand. I'm pretty sure other people will be able to further explain additional elements to it.
Likewise on my side too. But my side has too many pros versus the cons. Because we see what not having this ability has been causing. You've been going nowhere. So if you're going to be a fool that's going to follow something that's gone nowhere, are you really about to do that? Are you about to really be so underdeveloped that you're not going to have consideration? You're going to just decide, damn, let's jeopardize the lives of so many other people. Let's keep in a fucking outdated loop.
And that's why I feel like by the end of the series, they're not going to support the whole that third groups thingy of everybody getting telepathy. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure by the end it's going to be a message about people openly with their own will being truthful.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's never going to work because too many people have been open about things and they get killed. So what you're saying is not going to happen. What's going to happen is that most of them are going to most likely have to get the collectives to end up getting that ability again. At a molecular level, making the bodies of incoming souls have that, where incoming generations are going to have that ability to have that telepathy, and they're going to have to work things out to attain harmony. That's the only way for harmony. There's no other way for harmony.
Just because two enemies can see each other's negative thoughts, it won't stop them from acting upon it.
They will have to continue killing themselves on that Izanagi style genjutsu until they both sides realize, damn, we need unity, harmony. Yes. Right. That will have, yes. So yes, it is extremely important. That telepathy stuff for both sides is extremely important because there's advanced civilization on whole other planets that they can have telepathy and they're in harmony. That's an ability you're supposed to get, ultimately. You're supposed to. You're meant to get it. You become a higher life form. Guess what? Oh, wait. Don't most religions believe in, there was someone that spoke to a voice that tapped into their brains? Oh, someone spoke into someone else's brain. Oh, okay, their consciousness. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Where does that life form come from? That quote-unquote higher life form. Where does it come from that it can speak into people's minds and then have them commit genocide or do things that they wasn't supposed to be doing? Okay, this is where you have to question life forms. I mean, we already had that conversation, but my point is, if an advanced civilization has telepathy, all life forms, the moment that you enter that planet and you get into a body in that civilization, that advanced civilization, and you have telepathy, guess what? You're being taught how to be responsible, accountable, so that you can grow into a higher life form. You're being nourished. You're being taught what will literally empower you and help you become a higher life form. Meanwhile, what happens if you end up coming to this planet that is in the process of developing and you end up in a body that doesn't have that ability? Oh, cool. You see all the chaos. You see the instability. Okay, look at that comparison. Look at the advanced civilization that has it versus the advanced civilization, the underdeveloped civilization that doesn't have it. Look at the two. That's what has to be done. You have to look at the one that has it versus the one that doesn't have it. That's like looking at someone with a spear versus a civilization that has a gun. Guess what? They're both developing, but would you say that the one with the gun is better off? No, because they're both killing each other. Meanwhile, you got that advanced civilization that has telepathy is not killing. They're not stagnating. They're not on nonsense. Meanwhile, you have the underdeveloped civilization that has both the spears, the guns, and doesn't have telepathy. And you see the chaos and the instability. So people gotta look at the advantages. Like if the writer can do what he wants, he already showed that there's a possibility for it. So whether he goes through with it or not, it's whatever. I'm enjoying the series, and if he goes about it, I'm gonna give him a W. If he doesn't, it is what it is. You get what I mean? I'll take the idea and I'll implement it in whatever way I can, because it's interesting. You know, like that's something that he already, like, for example, he put it in our faces. He might as well follow through with it, because if he doesn't follow through with it, hey, I'm gonna be able to constructively expand what he just showed. But it's a shame because, bro, like that's like you having a plate and you having the best thing on your plate and you not eating it. Like bro, you just showed me something really good on your plate. You're not gonna do that yourself, bro. You're not gonna go and take that, bro.
That's where.
Like he
that's
has
where
that.
take.
It seems too good, and he has the sort of mind where he's efficient. I've seen the way he, like, his work, what he's done, the sort of themes he's placed in his work. It's too easy. There's no way he can't spot what we just talked about. There's no way he can't spot that. There's no way he cannot spot what we just had a whole discussion on. Like, he has to be able to see that. And whether he acts on it and places what he's supposed to place, I mean, that's up to him. You were going to say.
No, I was just gonna say that that's where, taking into account the fans, perspectives and whatnot comes into play for these popular series as well.
I'm not a fan.
I'm
not a fan. I don't give my energy like that.
Okay, I'm just talking about the people who are.
Well, the people that are fans, like we just talked about earlier, they're not really thinking how we're thinking, because they right now, and unfortunately, this is what it is. I'm sorry. I used to be someone that I used to not think about things when I used to watch anime or something. I used to not realize that these are adults trying to get you to either improve your lifestyle or do something. You guys, because not all writers are responsible, but the writers that are responsible are well-developed adults making this sort of material to help you become a better version of yourself, or to help you evolve, literally. So those are people that I would consider, if they're helping entities constructively evolve, I call those entities fellow constructive co-creators. So think about that. So some people don't realize that. Like when I was younger, I didn't really notice what some of these writers were doing, some of these authors were doing. Likewise, I grew up, I developed enough, I recognize it. Just right now, there's people out there that don't recognize it. You call them fans. They just watch it just for the shits and giggles. They just watch it just to be there for a little moment and ha ha ha, explosives. Oh, did you see that in episode 5? They went to a Disneyland nonsense location, and then they threw like balloons, all this other stuff, explosives. That's all they talk about. They don't really talk about what's really going on and how to apply it into what's going on in their day to day, or what they're moving towards. So you were saying in regards to fans.
Yeah, I mean, all I was saying is that certain authors take into account what they see that their fans like or want, and kind of shape their story in that direction. So, and I'm very very sure that the vast majority of people following the series wants all three of those characters to end up, as a family. So that's why I just really feel like that's what the author's going to go for as well. Even if he's going to show things behind the scenes, I think I'm not sure. I'm not really seeing it, come to the forefront like that and completely change the dynamic of the series and turn it into, damn near a different genre or something, whatever.
Well, a story is supposed to grow into different genres. It is supposed to. I mean, we'll see. Because I mean, he knows what he did. He knows what he placed for Anya. He knows what he placed for these different characters, and he knows what that's going to move toward, what that stacks up to. So if they're all working towards supposed world peace, well, what world are you talking about? That's what I want to know as I sit back looking at these different characters, I'm questioning, okay, what world? What world? What world?
I mean, that word gets thrown around just so easily. These characters be talking about the world, but they're really just talking about where they live.
Nah. The world, look, bro, there's a difference, and this is the thing, my man, I want you to respect the fact that the planet is the planet, the world is everyone's perception. So you can't say that the world is the planet. No. The world is the perception that each entity has. And if you look into the creation of the word world, that's when you have to do that, brother. I know you should know better.
I mean, it's just we've been using the words interchangeably for damn near our entire lives. So let me see.
Yeah, but then eventually, when you grow up enough, you learn that there's a key difference, and you can't attach that with that, because then that's gonna be very severe to your levels of awareness, and that's where people catch you then when they claim nah, the planet is the planet physically, the world is the perception, and we see it. What is someone else trying to project onto you, and we got to see where they got that from, and that's what's really important. Like Lloyd, he has that potential where he's going to be able to sort of sit back potentially and ask himself, I've been following, this, but both sides have kids, and what world am I looking to really do that, because there's different worlds, and so he's going to have to look at whose world was someone projecting onto him, and by the way, they explored it in what's the name of that one anime? It was Full Metal Panic. I almost said Alchemist. Even though they threw Edward into World War II, by the way, which was confusing. But I mean, it sort of made sense. I mean, to a certain extent, how they threw him from the world he was in.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like in the original Full Metal Alchemist, he ended up in World War II. But going back to Full Metal Panic, they had that whole conversation in regards to the main character getting a perception from who he thought was his commander, and then eventually he found out the commander, was stuck in his own little perception of what the world was to him that he was projecting onto the main character, until the main character realized, like, fuck, like this guy, he's not thinking right. He's really not.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, with Lloyd, that's why I said, that's gonna be the
not the word right, because I don't like to use the word left or right anymore because of how perverted it has become. I use the word correct, genuinely correct, like healthy. You know what I mean? Like the dude, like recognize this dude's not actually thinking healthy. So, you were saying?
No, I mean, that's why, I said earlier that when Lloyd, if Lloyd comes to that point as a character, is going to be, in terms of him breaking away from his organization. Now, is he going to fight them or whatever, or use Yor to fight them, or, take them out, dismantle these groups or whatever? Or is he going to take them and just freaking run away to a different country? I don't know, because, I mean, they don't have superpowers like that,
Nah, there's no escaping, though, because if they've been doing spies, and that, they can find them. Definitely.
But I mean, that's the thing, though, because if Lloyd is such a good spy that no one's on his level, he should be at that level where he can escape.
Nah, bro. I still feel like even if they can still tell and find him, and because he knows a lot of information. You get what I mean? They should have no matter how good your operative is, you should have a means to get rid of your operative, your best operative, because that operative knows so many secrets. So I know that group has a means to get rid of him if they have to. Because by the way, there was a top operative before him. You get what I mean? And that plays a part into his backstory. Because I know there was an operative before him, because in Yu Yu Hakusho, before Yusuke was the detective, there was a detective before Yusuke. And then eventually Yusuke had to fucking go up and really strap up against the old detectives. Like, they had to really go in. Like, you got to go against the old nigga. You get what I mean? Like, there's someone before you, bro. And everyone has that backstory. So I know this dude had to do something against someone that used to be the top operative before him. There was someone, obviously. So if they had a means to deal with him or whatever that, we'll have to see it in his backstory if it's in Lloyd's backstory. But yeah, they definitely do have a means to deal with Lloyd if they have to.
Well, it depends, how far or how realistic they want to take this. Because I mean, I think they really, I don't know, because I think their goal with this series is really the lighthearted direction. I honestly, they can surprise. I'll be open to that surprise if they turn this just completely on its head and just make it more gritty and grounded and break up all these characters and find a way to follow the story from there. That would be pretty ballsy, but
Nah. They don't have to break up the characters. Like Anya and all, they can stay together. They can have the family thing. I'm just saying they're gonna have to show, what's gonna happen in regards to the whole dynamic. But how they're gonna end up together, they're gonna need genuine like stability for those on the planet. So the thing is, how they're gonna go about that is the question. I mean, we see Anya. She got into the school and blah blah blah. She might be able to do diplomacy or whatever the heck they're trying to do with her. But it's just like, who knows? You get what I mean? Who knows? This is the fun part about the series. We don't know where the writer's gonna take it, and this is why I'm honestly gonna check out Spy X Family even more as the chapters gradually come out. I got hooked. I really was not. I was not expecting for any other writers to really be on that. You get what I mean? Like, bro, when I saw this shit, I was like, fuck, why didn't I get to this shit first? Like when I saw this, I was like, damn, I got spies in my shit. I got spies in some of these stories. Like, damn it, like this is so good. Damn, like, bro, I was like, wow. It motivated
wait.
me to think like, damn, I gotta complete a lot of these one shots, but
Uh, so you already caught up to the latest chapter?
No. I didn't catch up to the latest chapter. I'm still gradually reading through the manga.
Uh,
I had to take notes in regards to this list and the spy stuff.
yeah, you better get rid of the narrator notes though, because our series isn't like that. The Takumi series isn't like that. So drop the narrator stuff.
What narrator stuff?